Hi everyone! Today I have an actual book haul for you guys. Not a haul of books that I already owned and just moved to the apartment from a different location, but a haul of actual books that I actually bought from an actual bookstore. So I thought I'd show those to you. Before I actually get started with the books that I was intending to show you as part of this book haul, right when I sat down to film, I had something arrive on our doorstep. I mentioned in my review of Gideon the Ninth that I had ordered a copy of the book because I loved it so much and that it hadn't arrived yet. So that actually came today. Here it is. I have to admit, I'm a little bit disappointed. So I bought this book because I really loved the book and I know I'll want to read it again, and because I'm excited for the sequel, which is coming out later in the summer. But also I saw online that the hardcover had black pages, and as you can see, this does not have black pages. So I was kind of bummed when I didn't get a copy with black pages, and I looked online and it looks like that might be just the first edition. So maybe I'll pre-order the second one and make sure I get one with black pages, because hopefully they'll do that again. Maybe it's a little silly that I'm so excited about having a book with black pages, but it just seems really cool. I've never seen that before and I was really excited to get it. So I'm still happy I have a copy of this. I think it was still a good purchase and I got a good price on the hardcover because the paperback I think either just released or is about to release, but no black pages. But it is still a nice cover and you can see it for real now. And it also, as well as the cover, if you remove the dust jacket, there is a nice little skull. So I'm very happy to have this. I'm a little sad about the black pages, but hopefully someday I'll be able to show you guys something with black pages. Okay, so now I'll get into the books that I was planning to show you today. Our local used bookstore just reopened for curbside pickup. So they're offering this thing where you can pick a genre, and for $10, they will give you 4 to 5 books in that genre that are gonna be a surprise. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting too much. This bookstore, I really like going there, especially because they have a lot of cheap books, but they have sort of a mixture of things that are really pretty old and things that I haven't heard of, and then occasionally something more modern. So I had no idea what I was going to get when I ordered this mystery bundle, but I thought it would be nice to actually go and pick up books from the bookstore. I thought it would be a nice way to support a local business, and I've really missed being able to go there while it's been closed. So I didn't have high expectations for the actual books, but I wanted to do it anyway and I thought it would be fun. It probably won't surprise anyone that I went ahead and ordered the science fiction and fantasy bundle. If I do this again next week or in a few weeks, I might ask for something like general fiction or maybe a different genre just to mix it up a little bit. But I sort of went with Old Familiar this time. So I'll admit I ordered this and picked it up yesterday, and I do know what the books are already, so this isn't any kind of unboxing, but maybe in the future, if you want, I'll open it for the first time on camera. But as it is, I'll just show you what I got, and I was pretty pleasantly surprised by what showed up. The first one is The Songs of Distant Earth by Arthur C. Clarke. I don't think I've read anything by this author. This is science fiction, but the name is familiar. I feel like this is more of a classic sci-fi or one, an author that's been writing for a long time. The book this book was published in 1986. So this is older than me. So I'll go ahead and read you guys the description and we can find out what it's about together because I have no idea. Just a few islands in a planet-wide ocean, Thalassa was a veritable paradise, home to one of the small colonies founded centuries before by robot motherships when the sun had gone nova and mankind had fled Earth. Mesmerized by the beauty of Thalassa and overwhelmed by its vast resources, the colonists lived an idyllic existence, unaware of the monumental evolutionary event slowly taking place beneath their seas. Then the Magellan arrived in orbit, carrying 1 million refugees from the last mad days on Earth, and suddenly uncertainty and change had come to the placid paradise that was Thalassa. Okay, that's interesting. So it seems like this is going to be about probably a isolated civilization of people coming into contact with the refugees from Earth. This seems pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited to try reading this one. Next, we have A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick. I've definitely heard of this book. The only thing I've read by Philip K. Dick is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which I mentioned in my tier ranking video. I read that earlier this year and really enjoyed it, despite some issues with some of the more dated elements and maybe a little bit the portrayal of women. So hopefully that won't be as much of an issue in this one. But yeah, this apparently is now a major motion picture. Who knew? And let's see, when was it published? It was published in 1977. Cool. I'll read the description on this one too. Cops and criminals have always been interdependent, but no novel has explored that perverse symbiosis more powerfully than A Scanner Darkly. Bob Arctor is a dealer of the lethally addictive drug called Substance D. Fred is the police agent assigned to tail and eventually bust him. To do so, he has taken on the identity of a drug dealer named Bob Arctor. And since Substance D, which Arctor takes in mammoth doses, gradually splits the user's brain into two distinct combative entities, Fred doesn't realize that he is narking on himself. Caustically funny, eerily accurate in its depiction of junkies, scam artists, and the walking brain dead, Philip K. Dick's industrial-grade stress test of identity, both his characters and the readers, may be the most unnerving drug novel ever written. Okay, I'm a little scared with where that got to by the end, but I'm definitely intrigued. Drug novels aren't something I'm usually looking for, but still, cool. This reminds me a little bit of Snow Crash, somehow, by Neil Stephenson, which is that's more of a cyberpunk book, but cool. Okay, I'm a little scared, but maybe we'll give it a try. This one is Humpty Dumpty, an oval. I have never heard of this author. Apparently it's a New York Times notable book. Published in 1996. I think isn't that the same as the other one? Okay, cool. According to this cover, Damon Knight is one of America's originals, a visionary iconoclast in the line of Twain, Bierce, Vonnegut, or Philip K. Dick. Now with Humpty Dumpty, he offers an extraordinary capstone to his remarkable career, a meditation by turns caustic and tender on life, loss, memory, and time. They're not talking him up at all. My husband really liked this cover when I took it out. This is kind of, I don't know how I feel about this. Calling it an oval is very cute. I'll read the rest of the description. It is the tale of an ordinary man whose existence is splintered by an extraordinary event. I can't say that word, that always gets me. A shock that shatters not only his life, but the surface of reality itself, sending him tumbling through a world turned inside out, filled with ancient conspiracies, alien invaders, surreal manifestations, and the shards of his own history. For the bullet that has entered his skull has also opened cracks in reality itself, and as in the old nursery rhyme, no force on earth or in heaven can put it back together again. ... Okay, they're definitely trying to make this sound really awesome and epic. I have no idea what it's about. Again, I'm definitely intrigued. I feel like they are doing a pretty good job with this mystery book bundle. They are all mysterious, and I feel intrigued by all of them. Next, we have Breathing Lessons by Anne Tyler. I don't think this is either science fiction or fantasy. I think this is just contemporary fiction. I'm not familiar with this author. I don't think it references on here that she is the author of The Accidental Tourist, which is, I think, a book that I've seen on my mother's bookshelf. I think I might have tried to read that in my teens when that was especially at a time where I really hated contemporary fiction and reading about real people and their real problems. Even to this day, I still prefer science fiction and fantasy, but now that I'm older, I have a little more appreciation for novels that explore some of the issues that we deal with in today's world. But I'll just go ahead and read the description of this anyway. Everyone knows a couple like the Morans. Maggie, with her scatterbrained ways and her just slightly irritating but good-hearted attempts to make everything right for everyone, and Ira, infinitely patient, who's addicted to solitaire and who whistles out popular tunes, the only barometer of his moods. They've learned all there is to know about each other, two ordinary lives in a comfortably routine marriage. But on the road to a friend's funeral, they make some unexpected detours and discover how extraordinary their ordinary lives really are. Again, I'm pretty sure this is not either science fiction or fantasy unless there is I mean, maybe what they discover about their ordinary lives is that they have magical powers, but I think this is just contemporary fiction. But it still actually sounds pretty interesting. I would be willing to read this. But yeah, I don't know why it's in my book bundle, but that's cool. Last, we have Alastair Reynolds on the Steel Breeze. And unfortunately, I think this is a sequel because it shows on the back that there's another one called Blue Remembered Earth. And I also think I heard someone talk about this on BookTube recently and said they didn't like it as much as the first one. So I looked it up, I found the first one and put it on hold in the library, so I think I have to read that first. This is kind of a nice cover though. And it's definitely science fiction. Chiku Yellow is earthbound, living a peaceful life on a changing world as humanity explores 1,000 new ways to experience life. Chiku Red is spacebound, blasted into deep space to investigate Eunice Akinya's last journey and maybe unlock the final secrets of the physics of space travel. Chiku Green is planet-bound, traveling thousands of light years in a vast generation ship to the planet Crucible, a new home for humankind. It's a habitable planet, and it hosts the Mandala, a fascinating alien labyrinth. All three are Chiku Akinya. All three are pivotal to our future in space. All three are in danger. Okay, so I feel like I'm probably missing some context here because I have no idea what the first one is about, but still, I feel like this is a pretty interesting selection that they gave me, and I would have fun ordering another book bundle. I mean, it was only $10 for 5 books, so I would do this again in the future just to support the bookstore and just for fun, and I had fun looking through these today. So let me know in the comments if you've actually read any of these books, and if so, what you thought, if you liked them, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me.